Assalamu alaikum, my dear brothers and sisters. Welcome back to Youth Challenges. So just before the break, me and Maulana Amar Karim Sahib were discussing a very interesting topic on drugs. And obviously for those of you who've just joined us, I want you to know that we are actually live here in the studio today. So feel free to call in the studio, ask any questions you may have, or just provide any input or share your own personal experiences that you've been through. And Maulana Amar Karim Sahib can actually advise you with their wisdom, inshallah. And so just before the break, Maulana Sahib, I was going to ask you, now once we've already discussed the Islamic kind of angle, we've discussed the negative effects, we've discussed what it is, we've discussed some of the reasons why the youth of today are getting involved in drugs. So I think next it begs the question is, what can the wider society do to ensure that the youth of today, the Muslim youth, are not getting involved in drugs?
Actually, you know, our youth required a right environment. The problem is that if you look at that, if you make a survey, those people who are coming in masjid regularly, they are not using drugs.
Yeah.
So this is a right environment, they have it.
Yeah.
And those areas, those pockets where the drug is in abuse in abundance, the people fall in that.
Yeah.
So if you go in that area where the drug trafficking is, or where, and you can Google it, where you go there, what is the crime rate in this area, what is the drug rate in this area, you can find it.
Yeah.
So a person, as a parents, we can have an very open eye, and we can watch the activities where our children are going, what sort of company they keep, and what sort of activities they have it. If we see any bizarre activity or any strange activities, we can take a notice of it. For example, if your child says that, oh, I have to go 2 o'clock at night for some activity, what is that? So you should be vigilant about it. Yeah, I'm agree that now we have so much economic pressure. Parents, both husband and wife, both are working. Sometimes they do not give the time to children to look at their needs, but we have to keep an evil eye on our children, what they are doing it, what sort of environment they have it. For example, we have to make some sort of a section of their time. They have to go to madrasa for a few hours. They have to go to this club, because the physical activities exhaust their their energies. So then they don't involve in other activities.
Exactly.
So we should provide them their sports activities. We should provide them to link with the Quran and the other madrasa with the masjid. And we should also keep an eye of friends. For example, if any friend, and you see that friend is, and you watch, as a on a youth, I give a message. For example, if you see one of your friend is taking drug, so you have to approach the parents, tell them. Don't hide it. Many, the students, they ask me, it is a backbiting if I'm talking to my friends. It is not a backbiting if you identify a mistake of your friend and they can put on the right environment. It is very, very important. And the responsibility of our society is we should also keep an eye. What happens sometimes when I go to walk, I see the youngster, they involve in that. So as an, if I have a sense of, duty, I have to inform the authorities. It is not I close my eyes, what is going on my parks, what is going on streets, and I close my eyes and go. No, we have to take notice, and we have to identify where the evil is.
Yeah, definitely. And Maulana Sahib, that's a very, very good angle that you've looked at actually. So Maulana Sahib, we actually have a caller on the line. So Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Yeah, who's speaking? Where from?
This is Brother Mohammed from East London.
Brother Mohammed, how are you doing?
Alhamdulillah, brother. What about yourself? How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I can't complain. Thank you for calling in today.
Thank you for having me. I've been obviously watching today, and it's been a very interesting topic. And I've been wondering how I can get some help. I've been an addict to a few of these drugs since school. I thought the first time I did it with a few friends. I thought it was very harmless, but as time went on, I've become very addicted to it. It's taken over my life. I can't focus at work, or when I'm at home, it's basically like a craving for me, and I'm finding it hard to resist the urge.
Hey, Brother Muhammad, first of all, thank you for calling in today and sharing your actual experiences. And inshallah, I'm going to ask Maulana Amar Karim Sahib to give their wisdom on your situation. And inshallah, they can assist you. So Maulana Sahib, we just had a brother call in, Brother Muhammad. Now Brother Muhammad has just informed us that in school he started taking drugs with a few friends, but eventually over the years it's become an issue. He's become addicted, and he has a craving. He can't help himself. Even when he's at home and alone, he needs these drugs. So what advice would you give to Brother Muhammad with regards to his drug addiction?
All right. Okay, so I give an answer specific for this brother and generally for other people as well. Because you know what happened, there are the levels of the usage of drug, which level you are. So you are in the initial level, you just start your drugs. So at that level, if you inform your parents, if you inform the imam, or if you inform the other people, those who are having concern, so they can give some sort of give you some suggestions and the counseling. With the help of counseling, you can mend your ways.
Yes.
But if you have a chronic problem, so then you have to go for rehab program.
Yes.
Without rehab program, it is very difficult for a person to leave that bad habit. And also, Islamically, we have some very, very important, days. On those days, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us with that, sort of power. We can leave that bad habit.
Okay.
For example, in Ramadan.
Yes.
So for this brother, if he observed the whole month of Ramadan with the true will, I will leave this one. And alhamdulillah, with the blessings of Ramadan, I have seen many people, they left their bad habits.
Yes.
And if you have a gap of 1 month, and after that, you can continue that one.
Yeah.
Also, there are the many nights.
Yeah.
Those are the nights of repentance.
Yes.
You can repent on that nights and do dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But if you feel helpless, the important thing is that to go for rehab program. So in a rehab program, because the chronic issue, sometimes what happen, I leave it for a moment, but the luring is so much strong, desires are so much strong, I cannot resist against the desires.
Yes.
Then I have to have a supplicate of that.
Yeah.
To support that with the supplicate, even slowly, then I leave that one. So what I give the suggestion to my, first of all, it is very good. He has this sense, he is feeling that he is doing wrong.
Yes.
Because many drug addictors, they feel that they are not doing anything wrong.
Yes.
You mend your way when you feel that, yes, I'm doing wrong thing. The first, you have this feeling of guilt. And the second step of that, he has to, the contact with the rehab programs, and inshallah he will.
Inshallah. So I hope, Brother Muhammad, I hope you that can assist you of some sort. And so obviously, Maulana Sahib, I can't help myself. I come from quite a legal background. So I think, given the theme of today's episode, I think it is relevant to mention some of the legal repercussions of taking drugs. So, Section 1 of the Misuse of Drugs Act 1971 makes it completely illegal to be in possession of drugs. And you can actually be fined and you can be sentenced to prison. Now, the sentence and the fine, they both depend on how much drug is in your possession, which class of drug it is. Is it a Class A drug? Is it cocaine? Is it a Class B drug? Is it a Class C drug, such as cannabis? So it depends on the class of drug that you have in your possession. And it also depends on the situation and what you're doing. So for example, if you're under the influence of a drug and you're found in possession of a drug while you're driving, perhaps you're found into possession while you're in the middle of something which makes it more aggravated. All these things kind of come into account, and obviously you're unaware of your actions. So what happens is this kind of it comes into together in consolidation when a fine or a sentence is issued. Now, for example, if you're found with the possession of cannabis or weed, even if it's a small amount, you can be fined to £90 there and then on the spot by any police officer. It doesn't matter what their rank is, they can fine you to £90. And also, more severely, Section 1 of the Act, in fact, Section 4 of the Act, it makes it very clear that the sentences you can receive is up to 7 years if you're in possession of a Class A drug. So if you're found in possession of, for example, cocaine, you can get a maximum of 7 years sentence. And with regards to Class C drugs, now Class C drugs is something I want to shed some light on, because when it comes to Class C drugs, what happens is this is the one that is too normalized. This is when we talk about cannabis, when we talk about weed, when we talk about certain kind of pills, LSD, for example, LCD, for example, PSP, magic mushrooms that they call it. These kind of stuff, they come under Class C drugs. Now, what happens is for these drugs, you can be sentenced to a prison term of 2 years.
Yeah, on the basis of your information, Faizan, what I would like to say, sometimes what happened, they use our children to keep the drugs, to save heavens. I cannot take the responsibility to have this drug. I'm a trafficker. I give to any student, okay, you keep this one. I give a new mobile to that. So you have this mobile, enjoy this mobile, and now this is a drug. And now, after that, I think that our youth, they must have very clear understanding. It is a crime, or it's not only a crime, having lots of penalty upon that crime as well. Number one. Number two is that I also have seen in my life, maybe you witness as well, sometimes when you go abroad, some people give you one briefcase. Okay, take it along with your luggage. Without checking your luggage, you can take it. And sometimes many stories, meaning you cannot trust any other person. Now that this time where we live there, you cannot hold the the luggage of any other person without checking what is in it, and you cannot trust your friends blindly. If any friend give you a suitcase, okay, you keep in your house for a few days, and you are my best friend. He is not your best friend. Believe me, as in the beginning when you said that these are not your friends. On the other side, there is your parents are. On the other side, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the love of the other one, the responsibility is the other side is your friend. And you ruin your iman because of this friendship. And you know what happened? Many children, they become trapped because of this friendship. They possess their drugs. And many cases, maybe you deal those cases as well, they say that we never use the drug.
Yeah, that is what they say. That's the most common excuse, actually. So obviously, like you said, Maulana Sahib, it's a very, very big issue, and there's a number of ways that youngsters are being trapped into this kind of, it's a bigger kind of picture, really. And what I want the youngsters to ask themselves, in fact, is actually, if, for example, you're found with drugs in your possession and you have to go to prison between anything from 2 to 7 years, you're missing out on your youth. You're missing out on the days where you are in the best of health. You're missing out on the days where you need to develop your life, you need to become something of you, need to make something of yourself, you need to make your parents proud. So what you need to ask yourself is it really worth it? Is it really worth taking the risk, being in possession of these drugs? Even if you're just holding it for a friend, as you said, Maulana Sahib, is it worth it? So you need to really ask yourself these questions. And Maulana Sahib, we are obviously coming towards the last 15 minutes or so towards our program. So we did address in terms of what parents can do, briefly, but I think there is also an obligation upon schools, upon masjids, colleges, institutions, and there is also an obligation upon friends. Now, in the beginning, we did say that those who encourage you to come towards the path of sin, those who say, listen, if you want to be part of us, you've got to be aligned with our values and you have to do this, this, and that. Those people, I wouldn't regard them as a sincere friend. In fact, I would recommend you completely take yourself out of that friendship group and you completely move yourself away. There's plenty of people in the world, there's plenty of good people in the world who will accept you for who you are, who will align with your values without you having to conform to any kind of haram. But for those of you who are in good friendships groups, I do suggest that there is an obligation on friends, actually. So what would you say, Maulana Sahib? Am I right in saying that friends have an obligation towards a sincere friend to tell them, listen, brother, this is wrong, sister, this is wrong, you shouldn't be doing this?
Yes, first of all, the company is very, very important. There is an hadith, it is mentioned that Prophet ﷺ says that a person always has a religion of his best friend. What the religion of your best friend, you have that religion. Meaning, if you would like to look yourself, where you stand, you look at your company. If you have a company of druggies, or if you have a company of the drug traffickers, if you have a company of those ignorant people, so you are also one of them. Don't become foolish. Yes, I am not using it. Eventually you start using it. If today you are not using it, eventually you start using it. The other thing is that if you look at that, one of your friend is involving in this activity. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَتَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْبِرِّ وَالتَّقْوَى وَلَا تَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْإِثْمِ وَالْعُدْوَانِ. You give support to your friends, to give support to other people in righteous matters, and you discourage your other people in sinful matters. So it is a responsibility as a Muslim, we have it on our shoulder. If you look at in your surrounding, your best friend is doing like that, so you approach your best friend. This is your friendship. This is a test of your friendship.
Yes.
There is a one hadith in which Prophet ﷺ says that you help zalim and mazloom as well. So Sahaba Ikram became astonished. They said that we know that mazloom is that the victim. We know we help the victim. We offer our services to victim. But how can we help zalim, cruel? So Prophet ﷺ said that to help zalim is that to stop him for that action. So this is your help to your friend. You ask your friend, don't worry, he feels, at that moment he becomes angry. But believe me, the whole of life he will be, thankful to you.
Yes.
So what you did in the past. So at that moment, because, when you give medicine to child, the child starts crying. But later, he cured from that disease. This is the one of the, and examples, if every friend feels his responsibility, this is my responsibility as a good friend to, if my friend falls in a wrong path, I have to mend the path. Inshallah, then you get the positive.
Inshallah, definitely, Maulana Sahab, I completely agree with you. And in fact, that is why in the first half of today's episode, we did say that be that beacon of light, be the one that stands the ground, who advises the others. And in fact, Maulana Sahib, if you correct me if I'm wrong, but there is an authentic hadith reported in Sahih Bukhari where our Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam did say that every Muslim, one of the obligations he owes his fellow Muslims is sincere advice. So I suggest you give sincere advice to your brothers and your sisters in Islam, and you tell them, listen, this is wrong, this is right. And Maulana Sahib, one thing that actually brings to mind is, unfortunately, in today's day and age, once again, the youth have confused themselves with this perception that no one can judge me. Now, this is something which personally, when I see it, I can't bear it, because, if you're doing wrong and you expect no one to tell you, listen, you're doing wrong, and instead your response is, oh, you can't judge me, only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can judge me. But no, it's a very, very big misconception, and I want to clarify it here today, is that everyone and anyone, their actions can be judged in the sense that what is right and what is wrong. And this is actually an obligation upon Muslims to advise their brothers and sisters in Islam that, listen, this is right and this is wrong. So please, I encourage you, if someone comes to you with sincere advice and says to you, listen, brother, this is wrong, please don't say to them, oh, who are you to tell me? Or you can't judge me? Or only God can judge me? These kind of statements is not going to get you anywhere in life. Let's be quite frank here. You need to understand that when someone says something for your betterment, they are not doing anything they are not allowed to do. If you're doing something wrong, you should expect somebody to come and say it to you. And I personally believe that we are in trouble when that stops. When people stop saying to each other, listen, brother, this is wrong, you shouldn't do this, that is when the ummah will truly fall. That is when you, as a believer, your iman will crumble. So,
actually, what happened? Why we are the best ummah? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Quran, Kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat linnasi ta'muruna bil ma'rufi wa tanhauna 'anil munkar. You are the best ummah among all the ummahs. Why? You stop. If you look at that, anything is going wrong, you stop that one. And you facilitate the good things.
Yes.
It is a responsibility of every Muslim to, if any person is doing wrong thing, you mend the path.
Yes.
And other person will not become offensive or why you are, it is none of your business.
Yes.
No, it is my business. As a Muslim brother, it is my responsibility. As a parent, it is my responsibility to upbring my children according to Islamic norms.
Yes.
So I have to tell these Islamic principles to my children.
Definitely, and as we said, this is one of the beauties of Islam actually, that, the unity.
Yes.
The ummah is one body, we are here to help each other, to support each other. Now obviously, as on the one side we did say that you should be encouraging your friends to stay away from sin, you should also make sure that you're careful in the way that you do it, in a way that you are not abusing them, in a way that you are not discriminating them, in a way that you don't come across as too hostile. Your friends need to remain friends, but using your friendship, using the respect you have for your friendship, your unity, you use that in such a way, you utilize it in such a way that you can assist your brother and sister in Islam, and you can advise them sincerely without, ruining or causing them to feel left out.
What happened? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "Ud'u ila sabili rabbika bil hikmati wal mau'izatil hasanati." You call on the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with wisdom. It doesn't mean that I take a stick and humiliate you in front of all friends.
Exactly.
Or you are using drug. No. I take you on the corner in a very polite manner.
Yes.
I have a pain in my heart. It is not to malign you and to make your, tell everybody, and character assassination. It is not my intention. My intention would be to mend your path. So then I will take take it as my real brother. For example, if my real brother involves in any drug, so I announce everywhere, no, never. What I do that, I approach my brother. The same we have to do with our friends as well.
Exactly, and I entirely agree with you. And you know, just taking them somewhere quiet, just the two of you, for example, maybe on a drive or on a walk or just somewhere alone, that would be the perfect kind of scenery in which you can conduct your advice and you can help a brother and sister in Islam. So Maulana Sahab, just a few moments ago, we were discussing you know, what can be done, and we gave some general advice to parents with regards to what they can do to help their child. But you know, one thing I must say, Maulana Sahab, is quite astonishing that a lot of parents, unfortunately, they're not aware that their child is even involved in drugs or any kind of substance abuse. And what we want to do today is I want to ask you, what are some of the things, some of the let's say, red flags that a parent can notice to conclude that, you know, their son or daughter is involved in this haram, is involved in this kind of substance? So what are some of the characteristic traits that parents can recognize?
Before going to your answer, the question's answer, actually, I would like to discuss one thing very important. If you...
So Maulana Sahab, we have a caller on the line, so let's attend this call and inshallah we'll come back. So, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First of all, I want to say thank you very much for presenting such a good program.
Thank you.
And one thing we should educate our children and parents that their top priority is their deen, and how they can sacrifice their time, their wealth, everything for to you know, how to get good education of deen. But we think that spare time or something like spare is our deen, and we keep in the bottom, but we should keep at the top and top priority. So our first duty towards our Creator who brought us in this world, and that should be every Muslim should know that what's the purpose of the life. Purpose of the life is not artistic skills of your decorating your house, hairstyles, your clothes. I'm not saying that these things are not allowed, but all our effort, all our attention, all our strength is going towards how to impress other people through your dress, through your cars, through your house, and you don't pay attention that how good Muslim you are, what's your moral values, what's your character. All these things should be top priority. Like our Sahabas, they paid too much attention, sacrificed everything to maintain that level, which is Islamic level. So if we eat like West, if we dress up like West, and then we expect that our children, our next generation will be a proper Muslim and holding something, a place of proper Muslim, is just mothers should pay a lot of time towards their kids to bring them a better Muslim, not only worldly education that you become a solicitor and doctor, and they will become solicitor doctors, but they will become a very, very good character people, civilized people, and the whole world will shine through their you know, values.
Yes, definitely. So, sister,
thank you very much. Jazakallah.
Jazakallah khair. Sister, thank you for calling in. I didn't catch the sister's name, but the sister actually very relevant. Literally just the question I asked you, the sister did do a little to address that question. So just to kind of sum up the points that she made, in fact, one of the points which I quite caught my attention very well was that she said that, you know, basically your children are your investment, you know. So if you are adopting Western cultures, if you are behaving in a way which is not aligned with Islamic principles, you can't necessarily expect your child to be any different. So the first and foremost thing parents can do is set an example. Be the role model that your children need you to be.
Yeah.
And that is, I think, one of the most important things.
Look at that, those cases, those are people involved in drugs.
Yeah.
The environment of their house as well is very important. If your environment of your house, your people are doing prayer 5 times, and you're doing Quran there, and you are teaching, the Islamic, the values there. So it is very rare, the possibility than a person involved in it, right?
Definitely. So Maulana Sahab, unfortunately, we could go on forever, really, but we've come to the end of our hour. So I want to say to our dear brothers and sisters watching today, thank you, Jazakumullah khair, for watching. And inshallah, stay tuned every Sunday, 4 p.m. live on Iqra TV. We're bringing to you youth challenges with a new and exciting topic every weekend. So until then, take care of yourselves, of your family, and your loved ones. From me and Maulana Amar Karim Sahib, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.